My name's Nadine. I'm a Chief Executive Officer in residential aged care. Aged care is definitely the right fit for me. I'm really passionate about looking after our most vulnerable people. Growing up in a small community, you really get to know the older people that live in that community, and it's part of everyone's job to look after those people and keep an eye on them, and I really feel that connection, and it's probably why throughout my career I've always sort of gravitated towards rural communities. If I think back to when I was at school, I felt a really immense pressure around figuring out what I wanted to be, what university course I should have been in. Had no idea. All I knew is I needed to be around people, and I found myself in a position where I was living in a rural community, looked around and found the local community health centre that had an aged care facility, dropped my resume off there, and fortunately I was pretty much interviewed on the spot and was then slotted into a management position straight away. So I was incredibly lucky, but I think I was also lucky that the CEO at the time saw that potential, I guess, in me and encouraged me throughout the organisation into various different roles. So I finished in that organisation in a facility management role and a bit of a public relations role. And then I commenced in the current organisation I work for, and I was actually recruited in an active succession plan to become the CEO. I really believe that for me, the greatest opportunity was being a facility manager in a small rural facility, because I got to experience the different roles within an organisation. And I think often that's a criticism of people in leadership positions, is that they don't understand what it's like to be on the front line. And I think for me, the other thing that's worked really well is coaching and mentoring. That's been a big part of where I am and how I'm in a CEO role today. I've had some amazing mentors, and lots of people come to mind. The first one's definitely a lady by the name of Fiona Jennings. She's a community social worker, and Fiona really taught me how to understand people, but probably most importantly, she taught me how to understand myself and really allowed me to deep dive into myself to understand exactly how I think, feel, react to things, and it was such a beautiful learning that I've carried with me. I'm now sitting as a representative on the Tasmanian Women's Council for the Department of Premier and Cabinet. I sit on that committee with an amazing array of women. At this stage in my career, what I'm really interested in doing is promoting other young women in the industry. So it's kind of nice to be in a position now where I can actually start to give back, and I hope to be a mentor for other people. Also, I'm really passionate about rural women having opportunities, and I feel aged care is the perfect platform for women to be able to have a career and to be able to enter, particularly for those women that don't have a formal qualification. I think aged care is the perfect sector that you can actually have a really authentic career and progress in many different ways, but you can reach whatever level you want to reach. You don't have to be the CEO. It's what fits your lifestyle best. I think it's a really exciting time to be in the sector because you can help shape the future. And for me, being on the cusp of that is really exciting, and I really hope that the organisation that I work for, whilst it's only a small organisation, that we can be a part of that changing of society's view. In years to come, people will be like, remember in 2022 when the aged care reform started to kick off? It's nice to feel that we're a part of history, in the making. I think the opportunity is right for women to consider an aged care career. If you're in an administration role, what better way than to be a receptionist in an aged care facility where you get to actually make a difference. They come in maybe feeling a little vulnerable or a little sad, and you can just interact with that person and just make them feel a little bit more comfortable. Wow, if you're a nurse working in the acute sector, if you're a people person, you want to build a relationship. Aged care is the place to do that as a nurse, because you get to see those same residents every shift. You get to make a difference and have long-term goals for those people. That must be incredibly rewarding for nursing staff. As a sector, we've sort of opened the doors and we've gone, we can learn from other sectors and let's embrace that. So I think if you're a female working in a different sector and you're feeling like, what's in this for me? What do you not feel a sense of purpose? Well, aged care, come and join us.